All right. How we doing tonight, guys? That's right. You know what day it is. What day is it, guys? What day is it? Tell me. What day is this? It is Friday, right? What's on Friday? I often forget. That's right. It's WandaVision Day. Woo! All right, guys. Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. I'm Dave. And tonight I'm talking about the latest episode of WandaVision. This episode of WandaVision, the penultimate episode, the episode before our finale. Yes, that's right. We are in the second to last episode tonight, guys. And I got to tell you, we are getting a lot of interesting things going on in this episode. But before I get into that, I want to remind you guys to like and subscribe to our channel. If you like this content, if you like any of our content, make sure you smash that like button down below. Show us some love. And if you really liking our content, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Get in on the subscription action, baby, because we dropping videos every week. And we got some cool things coming up for you guys. I watched the Tom and Jerry movie today, and I have a review coming up on that. And that's going to be a very special review. I'm not going to reveal too many secrets about it, but it's going to be a really special, really awesome review. And I can't wait to share that with you guys. Recently, Sam did her BrickWall anime review on the anime film, the Studio Ghibli film, Princess Mononoke. Make sure you guys go check that out. Hit that video. Go check out the page. Watch that review. It was a great one. That's a great movie. I highly recommend it myself. So you guys make sure you go check out that review that Sam did. Outside of that, definitely make sure you follow us on all forms of social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and that's where we stop our social media rainbow. We're coming for more sites eventually, one day, probably when I don't know, maybe think about it some more. I don't know. But yeah, we're definitely coming. Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to Vern's Junk Closet. I was about to say a completely different name. I was thinking about something else. To Vern's Junk Closet. As y'all see, we got a new format going on here. I want to shout out to Vern's Junk Closet for putting me onto this here format to kind of help me arrange my videos differently. You guys go check out her YouTube channel, Vern, VERNES Junk Closet. Check it out. She has some really cool videos up there, and I think you guys will like that channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to her YouTube channel. So outside of that, guys, I want to go ahead and get started with this episode. Boy, oh boy, this was a very interesting one. This was the how can I put it? This was our official origin of Wanda Maximoff. I'm not going to say the name yet because we have to build there. Just like the episode built to that point, I'm going to build to that point of her official moniker, her official code name. Right. That's right. We get the official code name today for all you comic book fans. Y'all know the code names. Even you casual Marvel fans, y'all know the code name for Wanda Maximoff, but we going to get there. We going to get there. So this episode picks up not directly where we left off in the mid-credit scene last week, which if you guys saw, we had, now I can spoil it for you guys, we had Quicksilver and we had Monica Rambeau colliding, meeting in the scene last week. So we don't really get any immediate follow-up on that. No. However, we do pick up directly where the end of the last episode started. Where the last episode ended. So where the episode ended, before the mid-credit scene, they had Wanda be formally introduced to Agatha all along. That's been my bop for like a week. I can't get out of my head. I even heard the remix, and the remix got some attention from the gorgeous Tiana Paris. Shout out to her. So I had to get that off. I'm kind of upset I didn't see her in this episode tonight, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, we pick up pretty much directly where that episode leaves off before the post-credit scene. We see Wanda interacting with Agatha. But before that, we get a sort of origin story for Agatha. We get to see her origin story and how she was. Go, close the door. Close the door, yes. all the way. Yes, all the way. Sorry about that. Got some things going on my background. But so we get to see the origin story of Agatha. Not really like origin, but we get some of her backstory. So what happens is that it takes place. She was part of the Salem witch trials in Salem, Massachusetts, of course, back then. Blah blah blah. We all know about the witch trials, everything. So she was being put. She's about to pretty much be, I want to say, executed for utilizing dark magic, which is bad. Like, witches don't use dark magic. The good witch is gonna come after you for that. So she's being put up there. They're interrogating her. They're about to kill her. And so they go and they blast all their magic at her. Boom, boom, boom. She absorbs the magic. Yes, she turns that magic to her signature purple, absorbs it, gets powerful and strong, even takes out her own mother. Her own mother. That's right. She takes out her own mother. Guys, it was crazy. It was a great scene. What I liked about this scene in particular, though, is that this is the first time that we get this magic part. I know some time ago Feige said that Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel, he said that we were going to be getting more into the magic side of the MCU, right? He said that when Doctor Strange first was coming out. I don't know if you guys remember, but now we are here. We are in the magic section, officially in the magic section of the MCU. And I like this section of the MCU. I like how they're portraying the witches. I like how they're doing that. It's like, wow, look at us. 11 years, 12 years, however many years it's been, over 10 years later, over a decade later, we are at the point in the MCU in a large franchise film where we are introducing magic, witches, all that good stuff, and it just feels natural. Like, this is incredible. That's what I loved about the sequence. That's what I loved about this episode, which I'll get into that a little bit more too. I love that it is really introducing this magic. It just seems so, it's like, wow, who would have thought we'd ever be at this point where this massive mega franchise, billion, trillion dollar franchise is jumping into magic in a very interesting way. So I'm very excited to see where they go with this magic pocket. So they do this introduction to it very, very well. And so then we jump to the present day. No more sitcom antics. So we jump to present day, and Agatha and Wanda are talking, and Agatha's just still trying to figure out who exactly Wanda is. So it becomes clear at this moment that that Wanda is someone, it's like a person of interest to Agatha. Agatha is pretty much trying to figure out who exactly Wanda is and why her powers are the way they are. So we're getting to that point. Hold on, guys. Out. Go. Close the door. All the way. When you try to put them to sleep, they still walk around awake. But okay, so Agatha is trying to figure out exactly who Wanda is. That is her. It's becoming quite clear and quite evident that is her plan. That is her goal, to try to figure out exactly where she's getting this magic from. Because apparently the spell that Wanda casts over Westview, and they get into this a little bit more too in episode, it's like a really powerful spell. And the fact that Wanda's been able to do this so nonchalantly, so easily, so, you know what I'm saying, just so effortlessly, it's really freaking Agatha out a little bit. So she reveals that, yeah, I sent your brother. Well, it's not really your brother. It's just kind of like, it's pretty much the best I can do. And you fell for it. You know what I'm saying? You fell for this trick. So Wanda gets ready to use her magic against her. And she's like, you don't notice any of this stuff around here? Can't use magic. I'm the only one who can use magic. What, you don't know that? So again, this feeds into the part where Agatha is kind of just trying to figure out exactly who Wanda is. So she's like, okay. So you kind of see it in her face, which shout out to the performers in this, Catherine Hahn and Elizabeth Olsen. Again, these actresses are bringing the heat to to these scenarios, to these stories. They are bringing their A game here. So Agatha, she's like, okay, well, she grabs this cicada, right? And she has her hand. She's going over it, saying the spell, and she's telling Wanda, like, well, this is a spell. You can pretty much use it for mind control. It's essentially what it was. You can use it for mind control. Yeah, so you don't know this either? You don't know? No? Okay. So how? So that's pretty much what we're getting. So at that point, Agatha pretty much says, okay, well, check this out, because Wanda wants her kids back. That's why she's in the basement, right? So he says, okay, you want your kids back? Let me get inside your head. Let's take a trip down memory lane, because I need to figure out who you are, because something's not adding up. What you hiding, girl? What you hiding? That's what Agatha's trying to figure out, right? She's like, what are you hiding? So they start going on a trip through Wanda's memories. And so this is where we get this episode. The name of this episode is darn it, I forgot the name of the episode. It's a really cool name though. It's like it ties into what the episode is. But anyway, so the episode, we start to dive into Wanda. Right, we start to get into her backstory. Now, we've heard her backstory in exposition statements and different things like that through Age of Ultron and Infinity War, and just a couple episodes ago, we got her origin story through sentences, right? But this time we get to actually see it. So we see her younger with her brother in the house in Sokovia, you know what I'm saying, during, I guess, outside was a war going on or something like that, some violence and things going on. And, Wanda's really into, you guys guessed it, sitcom television, American sitcoms. She's really into them. She has the DVDs. She watches them all the time. She knows the episodes. She knows the formats of them. She knows how they run, how they play. It was really interesting. So, she's watching those, and all of a sudden you see the explosion set off by the Stark bomb, right? Where the Stark missile landed in the house. So that's when we see how they go into how, and I'm not going to spoil everything actually, because there's a lot of stuff that happens. And I think it'll serve you guys better if you actually see it for yourself. If you haven't seen it yet, I definitely encourage you to watch this episode. Just like I've encouraged you to watch the entire series. Honestly, it's a really good series. But if you've been watching and you've been on and off, I definitely encourage you. Even if you're just solely a Wanda Maximoff fan and you weren't really into the show, definitely watch this episode, because you get her definitive origin story shown on screen here in this episode 8. You get this origin story, and it shows you instead of just telling you. And I think it's really, really good that they've done that. So Wanda's, it's pretty much revealed that when she was young, right, she was she had like magic. She was born with this magic inside of her, right? So pretty much when the missile landed, because you all know how the Stark missile landed in the house, and they said it never went off. They waited and waited for days. They were trapped in there for days, and the missile just never went off, right? So what it was, Agatha explains, it says, you used a probability spell. That's why that bomb never went off. You were there for days. Parents were dead. You and your brother trapped there. Y'all were able to get out, but that bomb never went off. You used a probability spell. So here's my theory on that, right? Because this series goes through how Wanda has consistently lost people, her parents, her brother, her lover. So what I'm thinking with that is that the probability spell, it plays in like a monkey's paw, right? So with her, matter of fact, here's the best way I can explain it, because I've been watching Community a lot lately. One of the greatest shows on television, actually. You guys should make sure you check that out on Netflix. Community, really great show, excellent show. I hope we get that movie, 6 seasons in a movie, #6 seasons in the movie. Okay, but it's not about Community, it's about WandaVision. So anyway, so in the show Community, there's an episode where they roll the dice. Stay with me, guys. They have this dice, and they're trying to figure out who's going to go down and get this pizza from the pizza man. So one of the characters in the show, Abed, he's like, okay, well, if you toss this dice, that opens up a realm of possibilities, 6 different possibilities, 6 different timelines, things like that, timeline theory, right? So when they rolled the dice and it landed on a certain number, everything that happened in that, when that number was cast, like say if you threw a 2, okay, so now the universe where, or the timeline where a 2 was rolled. So these are the things that happened when the 2 was rolled. These are the things that happened when the 3 was rolled. These are the things that happened when the 4 is rolled. So things like that, right? Stick with me, guys. I'm getting to my point. So I think that when the probability spell was cast, probability is always random, right? It's like rolling the dice. You roll the dice, and mathematicians, y'all know this too. There's a probability that you can get this number, or you can get 1 out of 6 numbers, right? There's a possibility that you can get any of those 6 numbers. So now getting into a little bit of, I guess, science, right? Fictional science, non-fictional science, whatever you want to call it. So depending on what number you get, so now your life is now being carried because you see that you got a 2. So however, that's the timeline you're in now. However your life carries on from getting a 1, that's the timeline you're in then. Does that all make sense, everyone? I hope that makes sense, everybody, because like if it doesn't, then there's probably a better way to explain it. Like think Rick and Morty when they go to infinite timelines or something like that, right? So getting to my point, right? Because I spent a lot of time just explaining that. Getting to my point, I think that when she got to, let's say, I've always thought of it as number 6. Since I saw that episode, I thought of it as number 6, right? Ironic, right? WandaVision, 666, number 6 hexagons, magic, witches, all that stuff, right? It's all connected. So anyway, I thought about it as if she rolled a number 6. And number 6 had the bomb never go off, right? But in exchange for that, she's going to always lose the people that she loves. Her parents, her brother, her lover. So that's what I think happened with that probability spell. That's my theory. That's my biggest theory coming out of here. It's not about anything that's going to happen next week yet. It's not about things that happened in the past yet. But it's more so about Wanda unknowingly cast a probability spell. And when she did that, she put herself in a timeline to where she loses everyone that she loves, right? So her payment for if you want to put it like this, her payment for the bomb not going off is that the people she loves dies. Okay, cool. Done with that. So we keep going through her life and everything. We see different points of her life. We get the backstory on when she unlocked her powers from the Infinity Stone, which we all know is the Mind Stone. So we see that actual sequence there. And it's a very interesting, very, very interesting shot that they use when she touches the Mind Stone and it breaks open and she's able to see herself, right? You'll know when you see it. Like when you see it, it'll make sense, right? So she does that. She's able to see herself. And as Agatha explains it, this unlocked her full potential as a magic user, right? So at this point, Agatha's putting things together. Okay, well, all right, this and this, this and this, but we need the final piece of the puzzle. What made Wanda this powerful, right? So, of course, it was her love for Vision. We go through that sequence, a very nice and touching sequence, and then we get to the point where Wanda is going to see Vision's body, which is held at sword, right? So this here is the part of the series that everyone has been speculating about. Everyone has written their theories about. Everyone has put their leaks about, which all y'all leaks have been wrong. Okay. I've seen some leaks that allegedly line up with what happened tonight, but because I didn't see them early in the week, I am led to believe that those leaks have been altered in some way, right? So that they can reflect the events that happened in this episode. That's just me, because if I've seen like almost every leak I could find. I've seen the leaks and I've been taking bets on which leaks are going to happen. And so far, none of these leaks have happened, guys. Okay, come on. I haven't seen a leak that's been accurate yet. I always see them after I watch the episode, which makes me suspicious. But anyway, so we get this sequence. We see Wanda going in the sword. She's pretty much just trying to get Vision's body because she's like, I'm the next of kin. I just cannot give him a proper funeral, a proper burial. Of course, Sword's going to give her a hard time, and that punk ass Hayward is giving her an even more difficult time, talking about, oh, well, Look at me getting all like I'm telling a story in the corner, right? Getting all talking about, oh well, we just can't bury all these billions of dollars worth of vibranium underground just to sit there, and we're just trying to figure this out. Like this is an expensive weapon at the end of the day. Like, it gives this whole political thing. It's a bunch of crap. So anyway, he pretty much he's kind of picking at Wanda in his statements, and you'll hear it when he says it. He's just picking at her, just trying to nitpick at her. Well, you can't bring him back from the dead. You're the only one powerful enough to bring someone back from the dead, blah, 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 blah. And then you see that he altered the footage that they showed to Monica when she went in there. Wanda really just went in there to see Vision and see if she could pick up any scan of life from him, right? See if she could, just see if she could feel anything, like feel his life force or whatever the case may be. She doesn't do that. So after that, she pretty much just leaves. Like, that's it. So after that, she goes to Westview, New Jersey, which in the show happens to be real. And there was a shout out to Trenton in the show too. Hey, Trenton was on the sign, Trenton, capital New Jersey, you know what I'm saying? Hometown, home team. Yeah. Anyway, I'm done with that. So anyway, Wanda goes to the place where Vision wanted to build her a house. Very sweet sequence. And then there we see some of the key scenes that we've been waiting to see for weeks. We see the, Vision come from Wanda thing and they, like then the Matrix, like that. So we get that scene. We see the creation of Westview, which was a very piss poor town. Honestly, it's very sad and depressing looking place. It looks like a commercial out of a depression medicine, which ironically enough, they had a commercial that kind of resembled medication that you would take, a commercial for a medication you would take if you were depressed. So anyway, they do all that. Show how the hex was built and everything like that. And so then we go back to Agatha, and Agatha's like, okay, I got you. Here's your kids. So Wanda goes to get her kids, goes to retrieve them. They're not there. She goes out. She hears them screaming. She goes outside. Agatha got these two little punk brats on some leashes and is floating in the air. And here she's full out witch form, and she is in top form, I think. And she's not playing games. She knows what she's here for now. Agatha pretty much says, Wanda, you have done these things. You are dangerous, and you are a user and a conjurer of chaos magic. Therefore, ye are now known as the Scarlet Witch. No, she didn't say it like that, guys. She did not say it like that. I'm just being crazy because I can't remember the words exactly she said. But she officially dubs Wanda as the Scarlet Witch. The Scarlet Witch has arrived to the MCU finally. I tried to sound like The Rock on that, but I didn't. I know I did. Finally, the Scarlet Witch has arrived to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm doing for that, guys. So we get the introduction of the Scarlet Witch. Yes, and that is where our episode ends. We do get a mid-credit sequence showing that Hayward is up to no good. We all knew he was up to no good. And all I'm going to say is there's a Vision clone. Okay, I don't know why I had to get so close to the camera like that. That bugged me, right? I was real cringy. I'm going to regret that soon. But anyway, so there is a clone Vision now. Did we get any Monica and Quicksilver in this episode? No. Which is fine by me because this is Scarlet Witch's origin story. So now we've gotten episode 8. We've gotten the answers we've been wondering. We've gotten to the climax of the series. So now next week, the landing. Now, I always talk about the landings when I talk about these shows. I haven't necessarily talked about this series sticking the landing so far because it's just been so it's been so all over the place, right? But now that I'm in a position to look at the landing, right? Look at the potential landing. I'm saying they are in a position to where this next episode has to stick the landing, and not just stick the landing, but stick the landing in a very particular way. As they said in Madagascar to Escape to Africa when the penguins were landing the plane. They weren't landing the plane. They were doing something with a vehicle, and it was like just a peck, just a little kiss. Like kissing your mother. It's something like that, right? Or like he kissing the Pope. I think the Pope part was like a deleted line or an altered line. But anyway, just like that, like they have to hit it ever so delicately, ever so delicately, ever so delicately. They have to stick this landing, which I'm not. I have no. I mean, I have all faith that Marvel will stick the landing for the series, right? But it's just for this to be the last episode coming up. I know there's rumors about a 10th episode coming, but I'm against a 10th episode unless it's going to air with the 9th episode. Like if there's an additional week that we have to go through this, and by go through this, I mean if there's an additional week of, okay, we have to get more answers or we have to see how this thing ends, I think that's kind of no. I don't agree with that. I do agree, however, with 2, it started with 2, it ends with 2. You feel me? Because I think if we get like a 2-episode finale, just like we got a 2-episode premiere, I think that'll be perfect, right? Alternatively, the last episode needs to be at least an hour. Those are my only 2. Those are only 2 things I would like to see from the next episode. And in terms of sticking the landing, my theory for this episode, my theory on this is even stronger now, which is Stephen Strange has to appear. I'm sorry, like not just because it's Doctor Strange the Multiverse of Madness and Scarlet Witch is supposed to be in Doctor Strange the Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home and blah 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 blah. No, but because Doctor Strange, this is chaos magic. This is your job. This is now your job, Doctor Strange. Like Stephen Strange, you got to be somewhere in Westview, or you got to be on your way to Westview, or you know what I'm saying? You was handling something else right quick, and you hopping over to Westview. You feel me? Like Doctor Strange has to come into this series. I personally feel like if he doesn't, I need an explanation on why. Either in a post-credit scene or in his own movie, like, yes, Wanda, this is why I didn't come. There were a lot of different probabilities, and this was the one where you didn't kill yourself or something. I don't know. That was kind of dark, but you get what I'm saying. Like, come on, Doctor Strange has to, like, come on. This is crazy. Like, this is literally your job, man. Show up. Show up or you're fired. You feel me? So anyway, yeah, so that is, I mean, my thoughts on this episode. I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's not one of my favorite episodes of the series. I know, crucify me for that if you need to. But I mean, I like that we got the origin, that we got to see the beginnings of Wanda Maximoff. I like how we got to see all that, actually see it, actually witness it, you know what I'm saying, on screen, as opposed to being like a couple of exposition statements and things like that. I am excited for next week. I know next week it's going to be a showdown of some sorts, so I'm really looking forward to that. Again, this is now our official toss into the world of magic with WandaVision and with the MCU, so I'm really excited about that. I love the direction that's going right now. I mean, yeah. So, like I said, I just want them to stick to landing. That's where I'm at with this. There were a lot of cool things. Like I said, this is definitely an episode worth watching. Don't misconstrue me not seeing this as my favorite episode as me saying, "Oh, this episode's pointless and dumb and stupid." No, this is a great episode. This is still a good episode. Like, don't get me wrong, this is still a good episode and everything. It's definitely worth to watch. Again, if you're a Scarlet Witch fan, if you really like Wanda Maximoff, if you've always been like, oh, I really want to see how she got her powers. If you've been that person, then definitely watch this episode. It's definitely worth it. Again, the series is worth it. We're 8 episodes. We're at the finish line, guys, and I can't wait to come here next week and talk about the finale. People are talking about season 2, and I just want to say I think that'll be dumb because hello, WandaVision season 1, only season 1 mini series ties into 2 other movies and probably the rest of phase 4 of the MCU, and it doesn't need a second season because that doesn't make any sense. Because what are you going to do? I don't want to see a second season, even if you come up with something to do, because there are other shows that are coming out that probably need a second season more than WandaVision would need a second season, like Miss Marvel, like maybe Hawkeye and Falcon Winter Soldier and maybe even Loki, because Loki's getting to season 2, even though they pushed release date back to June. And I just feel like all these other shows coming out, like Moon Knight and stuff like that, like those can be season 2s. But WandaVision, no, season 1, and that's it. Miniseries WandaVision as a prelude leading up to things that happen to Doctor Strange and Spider-Man No Way Home, because apparently these things are supposed to be like a little trilogy. Like, oh, come on, guys. That was a nice little rant. So if you couldn't hear it, make sure you guys put the camera up and play it back. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys tonight. It's been fun. It's been real. I cannot wait to sit here and enjoy the finale with you guys again. Make sure that you guys tune in this week. We're gonna have some great reviews for you guys. We're gonna be doing a lot. Now we got some great reviews coming up, guys. Like I said, my Tom and Jerry review is coming up. Just make sure you guys keep your eyes peeled for that. It's going to be a very special review. And on Tuesday, we will be back here with another review. Sam should be off her hiatus by then. So, she'll be probably right here joining me, like right here, right next to me, in this spot in the chair. I have a chair waiting for her. Anyway, all right, guys, come on, guys. So I'm like really tired. All right, so you guys have a great, great evening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button down below. Show us some love. Make sure you check out Vern's Junk Closet. Subscribe to her YouTube channel. Check out her YouTube channel. Check out her videos. She's great. Tell her BrickWall Review sent you. And as always, guys, take it easy. Take it breezy. Don't be so freaking cheesy. I don't know. I didn't have a rhyme. But anyway, guys, I'll holler at y'all. Peace.